Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about the list in Python. List is quite similar to what we call array in other programming languages, and so list is specifically in this video we'll talk about how to initialize the list, and we'll also talk about how do we access list in different ways as part of this video. So first of all, we'll see how to initialize our blank list, right? And I'll discuss all these things, in examples, so that you actually see how we practically use it. So here we have our examples. Just go here. So here we have these examples. First example we'll see is let's initialize a blank list, naming example list, and then print it, right? So let's initialize a blank list, example list. So how do we do it? Example list and blank, and then let's print it, right? And let's print it. Simple, very simple. This part is very simple. Here we have our blank list which we initialized, right? So that's how we do initialize a blank list, and then we can print it. You can see is actually blank or not. Then we have this another example where we have to basically it won't be a blank list, we'll have to put numbers. So example is initialize a list naming example list again with items 1, 7, 9, 11, 10, and then we have to do certain things. We'll see one by one. First of all, let's initialize this list with numbers 1, 7, 9, 11, 10. 1, 7, 9, 11, and 10. 7, 9, 11, 10. Perfect. So we have this list. Now what we'll do, we'll first print 11. So we have to print 11, item 11, this 11 here with first print statement. So it's very simple. Print. Then how do we print the item 11? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth number, but list always starts from 0. So this item 1, basically the number 1 is basically example list 0. The index is 0. For 7 index will be 1. For 9 index will be 2. For 11 index will be 3, right? So we have to take 3, and when we print it, it's 11, right? And let's also see how to print. If we have to print the first number, how do we do it? We'll just print 0, index 0, example list index 0, and print it 1, right? You see, so the first number is 1, so that's why when we print example list index 0, it will access 1. Let's go to the second part of this example. Print 7 with second print statement. So 7 is 0, 1. 7 is index 0 is 1, index 1 is 7. So how will we do it? Very simple. Example list 1, right? Index is 1, and here we have 7. Perfect. So now the next example, we have to print items 7 and 9 with third print statement. So we have to print both 7 and 9 with our print statement. So how will we do it? Example list 7 is index 1, and we have to print till index 2, 0, 1, 2, right? 0, 1, and 2. But when we have to print till index 2, we have to write till index 3. When we print it, when we want to access till index 2, we have to end it on index 3, because it won't consider the last. So if you have 3 here as index, it won't consider 3, it would only consider till 2. index 2. It won't consider the last part. Basically, it won't consider the last index. It will always consider last index minus 1 till last index minus 1. Here we printed it's 7, 9. That's what we wanted, right? And the fourth part, print items 7, 9, and 11 with footprint statement. Perfect. How do we do it? Example list. Now tell me. We have to print till 7, 9, and 11, right? 7 is index 1, index 2, index 3, right? So from 1 to 3? No, it's 1 to 4, right? Because it won't consider 4, it will consider till 4 minus 1, that is 3. And we have to print till 3, index 3. Here we are talking about index 3. So it won't consider index 4 if we write till 4. It will consider till index 4 minus 1, that is 3. It will consider it till third index. Third index is 0, 1, 2, 3. Third index is this, starting from 1, 2, 3, right? So we have to print till index 3, which is 11. The value is 11. Perfect. So here we have, this is how we access our list. Then we have another example where we have to initialize a list with the mix of numbers and string. So example goes like this. Initialize a list, naming example list with items 1 Python 9 list 10. This is example. Let's do it. Not so difficult as it sounds like. 1 Python. It's a string, so it will be quotes. Then 9, again another string, so under quotes and side quotes. 10, another string. Perfect. We have initialized it. Now what we have to do with this? Print Python with first print statement. Python is index 2, index 1, 0 and 1, right? Starts from 0, so 0 and 1. I think it should be easy for you guys. Example list 1 Python. Here we have Python. Then the next example, print Python 9 list with second print statement. Very easy, right? So Python 9 and list starts from 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, but we have to print till 4 because it won't consider 4. We consider till index 4 minus 1. It won't consider the last one. The last one will be considered as 4 minus 1 is equal to third index. The last index will be 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Third index will be the last index. And so it will access till third index. 1, 2, 3. We need to print Python 9 and list, right? And here we have it, right? Now we want to print just the word T from the word Python. It should be not. It should be actually the alphabet. Alphabet, right? From the word Python, right? So how do we do it? Now always remember, a string in itself is an array in Python. So when we say that we have to print alphabet T from word Python, we have to first access Python, and inside Python we have to access T. Now Python is another string, so it's like a, you can say, another array. So it's like a nested array. So one first array is this, and Python is kind of another array inside this bigger main array, right? So let's first access Python, right? And that's the first step for us. So print example list and the Python is which index? Index number 1. Now this way we'll print Python, right? But inside Python we have to again print t. Now, t is which index inside Python? Let's assume this is an array. So 0, 1 and 2. To second index 0, 1 and 2. Index number 2 is t. So till this we have accessed Python. Now this inside this we have to again access t, which is the second index inside this. So now we have, this is Python, and inside Python the second index, which is t. So we have to print this, and here we have t. Perfect. So this way we can say this is kind of a nested array string. When we use string inside an array, it becomes like a nested array. So we can also access the alphabets inside the string through this array, these array notations. Let's not talk about the actual nested lists, right? So we have to initialize the same example list with 1 comma Python. Now what we have done, we have put 9 list and 10 inside another array. So let's do this. So we have 1 Python, 1 Python. Now the next 3 characters we have put inside another array. Now this is getting very interesting now. List and 10. Perfect. And then we have our usual item, the fourth item. It should be the fourth item here. This is an example. This is example. Now we have initialized this array, example list, with another array. Although again, as I said before, even Python is an array. This string is also an array. But now here we have apparently created an array here inside this bigger array, main array. So what we have to do now? Print 9 from the nested list inside the main list with first print statement. So let's first access this item, and then we can go inside example list, and we have, this is the index number 0 and 1. We have to print 9. So this will be the index number 0. So first index will be 0, 1, 2. So now we have reached to this nested array here, this way, and now we have 0. So inside this nest, here we have accessed nested array, and once we access this array, we have to further go inside it, and further inside 0 is the index 0 is 9. So we have put index 0 to print, and now we'll access 9 here. So by example list 2, by this part, we accessed the nested array 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1 and 2. Now we reached to nested array. Now let's explore nested array. Inside nested array we have 0, 1 and 2. So we have to access 0. So inside nested array, which is highlighted, we have to again access 0, index 0, and that's what we did, right? So we have 9 here with us printed. Now the next statement is print word E from item. This is example inside the main list. So this is example. How do we access? This is example. Should be easy. 0, 1, 2 is the complete array is 2, index 2, and 3. So 3, we reached to this example, and inside this example we have to access E. E is 0, 1, 2, 3, then a space is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have to access 8th index, and here we have. So we just as first statement we first reached to this part, this complete part, which is the third index, and inside this 8th index, index 8 is E. So we have printed it accordingly. Now the last statement is print word S from list, which is inside the nested list inside the main list, the third print statement. So now we have to basically, it will be a third loop, you can say. So first we have to access this array, which is index number 0, 1, 2. We access this array 0, 1, 2, and inside this array we have to access this second part, which is 0 and 1. We have to access this second item, which is 0 and 1. So first we reach the main list to this nested array, which is the index 2. Then inside the nested array we reach this item list, which is index 1. Then inside this list we have to reach alphabet S. Again, it should be alphabet. Should be alphabet actually. Should be alphabet. Yeah. So now we have to reach to alphabet S. Now which index is S? 0 is L, 1 is I, and 2 is S. So 2, and we have to close this last round bracket, which is basically to close the bracket for print. So example list 2 will take us to this nested array. Example list 2 and 1 will take us to the list, this item, and example list 2, 1 and 2 will take us to this S, alphabet S, inside this list, inside this nested array, inside the method, and that's what we want. We have this S array. Perfect. So this is you can say an example of nested array, and this is the way we initialize different arrays with different data types, numbers, strings, mix of number strings. So yeah, and we'll continue talking about list in further videos. Thank you.